Are you good? I've had a really weird start to the day. I went out yesterday, had an amazing meeting with a dear friend and plotted some really fucking cool shit. But I drank like maybe 4 or 5 margaritas, and then I got home pretty cut. I was pretty wasted when I got home, and drank a load of beetroot juice, as you do, healthy, hydrating. Hi Anzu, how's it going? But this morning I forgot that I had beetroot juice, and I was terrified on the loo. It was just ridiculous. This week's guest, wonderful Nikki Bedi, who's an old colleague of mine, but also just a dear friend. Hi Rekha, how are you? And hi, you are there. Hi.
How are you?
I'm so well. Did you hear my story about this morning?
I heard something about beetroot juice and I wondered where you were going. Was it going to be colour of your pee and you rushed yourself to hospital?
It was poop, actually. It was just like a sort of like whole splat. And I was like, what have I done to myself? What did I do last night? Did I get up to something that I shouldn't have? And
is this going to be a scatological conversation?
Mate, of course it is. It's me. I talk about poop incessantly. Like, one of life's greatest pleasures is pooping. So yeah, it scared the shit out of me this morning, quite literally. I was just like, oh my God. And then I was like, beetroot juice.
Do you know that beetroot is it the nitrates in it that allow basically your body to oxygenate more, which is why if you use it before you work out, you get a much better workout?
I didn't know.
But listen.
Is that a tip from the ever youthful Nikki Bedi?
Oh my God, how is this youthful?
Are you kidding me? You haven't fucking ate a day since we first met.
I so have. And also, can I just say, I decided that I should tint my eyebrows, but I'd run out of eyebrow tint. So instead, I used my eyelash dye, which is black.
Right.
So look how dark they are.
They look kind of cool. I mean, they've got that. The 90s are coming back, so the thinness is perfect right now.
That's just because I plucked them in the 70s, darling.
Fuck it! Oh, you're giving away some gems now.
I am joking.
Now we know. But yes, I was reflecting, and thank you for joining me on this scatological discussion and general hellos. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate you spending this time.
Thank you for having me.
But also, I mean, I'm sure you know the premise is that every week since lockdown first started in March last year, I've been talking to a badass creative friend of mine, and this week it's you. And I was thinking back to how we first met, and am I right in thinking we were both colleagues at the time? Is that the first time we met at the Asian Network? And I was
but I knew about you. I'd heard about you.
Okay.
So your reputation preceded you. What's new?
Was there a picture of you and Kabir at one of my club nights?
Oh, there might have been, yes. Could be.
Yeah, because I've got a feeling that there was a weird like, oh, that's you, because I recognize your face from this press thing.
Yes, no, it could be. I've just read Kabir's book, which is called Stories I Must Tell. And in it, one of his descriptions is that, apart from the fact he's 6'2" and I'm 5'4", was that I was the outgoing, really sociable one. And therefore, that's why the relationship sort of worked, because opposites attract. And
right. Oh, that makes more sense, actually. Because, I mean, it was actually really nice being a colleague of yours, because I think that the Asian Network was going through a bunch of change and I was part of it. It was like, let's get some fucking weirdos up in here. And it was nice having a fellow weirdo such as yourself
nice
on the daytime section. I was just like, this is wicked. Nikki's awesome.
Oh, so, yeah. Thank you. You know what? It was so interesting that time at the BBC Asian Network and I think that time at the BBC in general, because people were allowed to be people who broke the mold, who weren't just what was expected. They weren't cookie cutter formations of something, were they? They really that was a lot to do with the people who brought us in, people like Kuli, and who really genuinely celebrated individuality and actually encouraged it.
Yeah.
Whereas now,
Have I told you the story actually about how this happened? Right. So this is interesting because we were always guests on the station, like as a DJ or whatever. I was constantly on it and presenting artists from India, which is what I do anyway. And was getting interviewed like a lot as a member of this band Charged, which is a punk band I was in.
Yeah.
And so broadcasting was like a next sort of step. But there's this one vivid memory I have where our dear friend Anita Rani did a weekend show, right? She used to do weekend breakfasts or sort of early weekends. And they did one on Brick Lane, and it was live from the Vibe Bar, which is where we do our club nights.
Yeah.
But we'd just done a big fuck-off warehouse party the night before. So a car came to get me after I'd finished DJing at like 7 a.m. and took me to Brick Lane. I was fucked. I was in such a state. I just sort of... There was some debate happening in the middle of them. The sofas were in the middle. Anita was there talking to 2 or 3 of her guests, having a conversation. And I just burst in with this bottle of champagne, like all fucking half cut and wheeling over the place. And Cully loved it. He was like, you've got to be on the station, bro.
There you go. See? Cully likes individuals. And a lack of convention is, I think it's really interesting in broadcasting. And I've been quite lucky to have people allow me to do what I want to do on various occasions in my life. But then it does also get you into trouble, you know.
Yeah, but you've been a professional broadcaster from the off, right? Because I like that's the bit about you that I know, but am I correct in that assumption?
No, I was an actress first of all.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was all I ever wanted to do.
Okay.
And when I got to India, I ended up doing Hindi TV serials without even speaking Hindi, right?
Okay.
So
you can speak Marathi, right?
No, I speak tutti putti Hindi. मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ.
Okay, fine.
इतनी अच्छी नहीं है.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
yeah,
I
I speak drunken drawling Hindi when I'm in Bombay, like सीधा जाओ left मारो.
Exactly.
And it's fine. It's just like gets me from A to B basically, and not beaten up.
It's the language of Bollywood that I speak, Hindustani. So it's not even Hindi. Although once I did, so I ended up doing all these Hindi TV serials, and one of them was The Sword of Tipu Sultan, the Sword of Tipu Sultan.
Achha,
and my dialogues were in Urdu.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I can't read Urdu, so I'd mug up these lines, and then I couldn't remember half of them. So it's things like Unka falaudi talwar mazboot hai, which when I reflect on it, Nerm, it was like his sword of steel is. I mean, there were double entendres for the white woman in the series. Do you know what I mean? Which is so typical in the way that we were cast in those days. But I would like look into middle distance as somebody fed me the line and things
so were
like
you the exotic one then because of your hue?
Well, you know what? You could only be at that point. Of course, things have changed a lot since then. But in Hindi TV serials, you could be a CIA agent, gangster's mole.
I can imagine you as a gangster's mole.
Rape victim.
That's tragic, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that was such a big thing.
Yeah.
Rape victim. You could be the foreign returns girlfriend or BV who's messing up the family inheritance.
Right.
You would be British Raj Memsab. And in fact, I ended up
another role that I can see you almost typecast.
Oh my God. Honestly, and not only that, but do you know there was that great big place on Marine Drive called Maganlal Dresswala? So he was like the Angels and Berman in London, like for films, he would provide all these period costumes and things like that. And so I wore the same dress that Audrey Hepburn wore not the same dress, copy of.
Oh, right. I was going to say, that's pretty badass.
That she wore in My Fair Lady when she goes to the races. I wore that in 2 different series because that's what they thought a woman of my standing in those days would have been. I mean, honestly, yeah, it was a bit limiting. But yes, then I did lots of theatre, and that's how I met Kabir.
Okay.
Because he was Othello and I was Desdemona in a big production, yeah.
So you met on Walking the Boards. That's fucking cool.
We did. And then he strangled me into submission every night, and that's how we fell in love.
I presume this is all in the book as well. You know what? It's got to be quite interesting living a life like Kabir's and putting that in text, because there's got to be a lot of shit you can't put down.
Well, what he has been very careful to say is that he has been very open and honest about what is in the public domain. Mm-hmm. So what is in your private life, things that might be in your families or friends or ex-partners' lives, they're not your stories to tell. But he has been really, in my opinion, so honest. It's like being in the passenger seat of a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
He's driving it through his life at breakneck speed. So we're hurtling as the passenger
Yeah.
in this juggernaut through Kabir's life. And then suddenly he'll slow down, pull into this lay-by and tell you a little story. And some of them, like some of the stories at the beginning of the book, were really, really detailed. And there's a lot of pain that he's written about Nerm. It's not just the glamorous life of Kabir Bedi with all his many beautiful, wonderful, interesting women. It's not just about Bollywood, Hollywood, and all his European successes. It's also about the hurt and the vulnerability. So, but I think there might be, I don't know if he's going to watch this, but I think there might be memoir part 2.
The
yeah,
sequel.
Because, yeah, bilkul.
Aren't there a shitload of books based on him already? There's got to be.
On Kabir?
Yeah.
Well, I think there are books about the characters he's played, but I don't think. But you know, his book would make a very good film because you could go through the ages. Also, because you've taken 3 different types of, I'm not going to say film industries, but you've taken 3 different types of, well, 3 different places where you can be a star. You can be a star in Bollywood, you can be a star in Hollywood, and you can be a sort of European star in a very different way.
But also, I just to clarify, like Kabir's role in, and we're not going to talk about your ex-husband incessantly on this chat. I'll get back to you in a bit, love. But like Kabir in Octopussy is fucking legendary. Like having like a person, a brown person in a Bond film is just so fucking gangster.
It was so good, wasn't it? In those
and someone
days.
that looks that hot as well. I'm just like, damn, I'm a bit envious of you actually. Just like, damn, Kabir's hot, man. He'd get it.
Yeah. Yes, hot man. But you know what? It's interesting because obviously Vijay Amritraj was in that film as well, the tennis player. Do you know about Vijay?
No.
Okay, Vijay Amritraj and his brother Ashok. Well, now they're major producers in the world of film and television in America. But Vijay was a tennis player. He did very well. And he was also on that circuit. So there was Imran Khan, Kabir, and Vijay Amritraj. And they were often...
the Playboys, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to use it, but you're so right now.
I could say it. Yeah.
So Vijay was also in that film, but people don't tend to remember him. Poor Vijay.
Because it's overshadowed by fucking Kabir's like handsomeness. That's why.
Yeah, that
like,
towering and that voice. Hi, hon. He only called me Han. He only called me Han because it was Attila the Hun, not Honey. And he wrote that in the book. Yeah. Anyway.
Excellent. So you guys met.
Aapki tabiyat kaise hai? Are you very healthy? Are you good? What have you gone through in these last few?
I'm sorting out my hair while I'm talking to you because I'm a vain bastard.
Me too. This is chlorine hair, everyone. I've started swimming again, and I don't have proper shampoo, so it's a mess. But I'm sorry.
You've used 2 words derived from various Indian languages: shampoo and juggernaut.
Very good. Do you have Hobson Jobson?
I don't.
Oh, can that be my gift to you? So Hobson Jobson is a dictionary of terminology that incorporates many words from India. So bungalow, dungri is from dungri.
What?
Yeah.
But dungri is like onion, right?
No, not
In
no. That's
Gujarati.
no. It should be mushroom. Dingri. No, that would be dingri.
You and your dingri.
I only speak Hindi and Marathi. But I love Gujarati vegetarian food. Oh my God.
It's too sweet, man.
No, you don't have to have the sweet stuff though. What about dokla, khandvi? Khandvi is my absolute favorite. What are you pulling faces for?
Because I'm just like every time I was in Bombay hunting for a good Gujarati thali, they were always over fucking sweet. And
okay, there is a place just off New Marine Lines, and it's called Thali.
Okay, sweet.
It is
I'll write that shit down.
But it is so basic, Nerm, and I mean, it's more basic than Tucker's Club, than any of those places, and it is extraordinary food, and amazing.
Awesome. So going back to Bombay, you got to Bombay, you met Kabir walking the boards. Then there was that you being the big fucking star of Star TV on your talk show, which was like the big fucking deal. So tell me about that. Because I want to know all the gory details.
Okay, so first of all, I'd done a show for Channel 4 in the UK called Bombay Chat.
Okay.
Where
with two A's, there's like chat or chat.
No, it was just chat.
Okay.
It should have been chart. And it was Chatpata. But we were on location all around Bombay. So at the gateway of India, we went to Bal Thackeray, fascist leader of Bombay, for those people not from India at that time. I shouldn't say fascist.
No, I'd say right-leaning.
Very right-leaning. And his party is...
Because we were going to talk about your controversies in India, but I think you might have
I've just done it again. Okay, no, but listen, let me clarify this.
Yes.
So, Bala Sahib, I will say that, he actually compared himself to Hitler, but not for the reasons you think. I mean, you know that Bal Thackeray could bring Bombay to a standstill like that with a button.
He did
many
several
times.
times. Yeah,
Many
100%. Yeah.
So he was a cartoonist.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
So he drew my eye. Do you think that will ever be worth any money? I've got it.
Fucking yes, of course.
Okay. I wonder who would buy it though.
I imagine you've got some fans out there that want some of your cast sure.
It wouldn't be for me, no.
No, mate.
People who want his work.
Yeah, no. It'll be a combo of people that want his work and like one of your socks or something, or like some, or like like I don't know, what's like kind of nasty but also very innocent. Like I don't know, a sweatband or like, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. So anyway, now I've got myself into more trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we also went to the race course. We did all kinds of things that were very Bombay society in some ways.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, Star TV were looking for someone who could also cross territories. So
right.
You're not necessarily Indian through and through, but you really get India. You really have watered your Asian roots, but you can also talk and include another group of people somewhere in the world. So,
and that's down to your mixed heritage as opposed to being on a fucking gap year.
Okay, yes. So I am a Maharashtrian. My father was Arvind Sumant Mulgaonkar. And he was a gynecologist obstetrician who came to the UK in the 60s, like so many people did. And then he met my English mother, who was a nurse. So it's actually very classic.
It is. It's like, he's a doctor. Good boy. Very good family.
Very good
doctor,
boy.
all that kind of shit. Yeah.
Very good boy. So yes, so my and my grandfather was the chairman of Tata Motors, of Telco, also the managing director of Tata Sons. So like, on the top of Malabar Hill in Bombay,
mm-hmm.
there's a chowk between Hanging Gardens and Kamala Nehru Park. That is named after my grandfather.
Fucking hell.
And then there are stadia and, things like
so
that.
You're from some serious background, some serious stock.
If we're going to be casteist, yeah. But I'm the black sheep. And if any of my family are watching, they'll be going, she is.
You're the black sheep with the fairest skin, yes.
Yeah, I'm the gori guy.
Ha. What, the black cow?
No, gori, white.
Yeah,
white cow.
Gori guy.
Yeah, guy
is cow, no?
Cow, yeah, and gori is white.
Yes, a white cow. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
Because you said you're the fairest,
Fuck, I'm such an idiot. Sorry, you're completely correct.
No, maybe I'm just going slightly sideways.
I think I'm also a little bit
so I get
hungover.
this show called Nikki. Good for you. Hair of the dog.
Yes, indeed.
I get this show. It's called Nikki Tonight. It's on prime time twice a week.
Okay.
On Star TV. So it goes out to, that's like 3/5 of the world's population, isn't it?
Well, Star was a new network then as well, right?
Yeah,
so it was like Murdoch's whole foray into India, right?
Yeah.
Expanding his empire into the old colonies.
Yeah. I had to write a diary for the Telegraph newspaper here when I was doing Bombay Chat, and I was so rude, Nerm, about Rupert Murdoch's influence on India. And I used some phrase like, oh, he's stamped his dirty footprint all over Asia, and he's, firing counterculture missiles. I said all this. And then I also said, oh, mind atrophying soaps like The Bold and the Beautiful. Get this, within a year, I'm a major player on Star TV. And Kabir is starring The Bold and Beautiful. So,
That's
you have
quite
to
funny.
be careful what you diss, don't you?
Well, but I mean, there's always cases like that. But also, it helps that I guess the Telegraph was owned by the Barclay brothers then.
Yeah.
So they didn't give a shit. They were probably encouraging it, right?
Yeah, and they wouldn't actually even probably be paying attention to a little column like that, would they?
So, yeah. So then you became this fucking face of Murdoch in India with your chat show.
Yes.
And then you got into some serious shit.
Yeah, but just to sum up for people who didn't know anything about it,
Yeah.
this was a show that actually really relished pushing the envelope, as you would say in the 90s.
Okay.
We were provocative. We were firing counterculture missiles into people's living rooms. And anything we could do to slightly push things, we did. And then anything I said, Nerm, would be in the newspapers the next day. So we were manna for the media. And that people want that. They want their show talked about.
It's good, solid entertainment, but also it's great marketing for your show. So
totally. But can I just say, if that happened now, I would probably, number one, I'd be cancelled. But secondly, I would get so much hate on social media.
Yeah.
As well as lots of love and pleasure in the people I'm talking to, etc., etc. But my God, thank goodness that didn't exist then. But then, yes, so let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So I had India's leading gay rights activist on the show. His name was Ashok Rao Kavi. Now, Ashok Rao Kavi had written an article many, many years ago where he had called Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi, a Banya bastard. So Banya class and then bastard. And Khushwant Singh, who ran the Illustrated Weekly of India in those days, legendary journalist and writer, published that article.
Okay.
And Ashok Rao Kavi got into trouble at the time. He made the point that actually, technically under British law that prevailed at that time, Gandhiji and his wife would be too young, so their children would be. He made some, I don't remember the details. But when he came onto the show, I asked him, why are you not up there with the luminaries from your journalistic training, who are now editors of the Times of India, the Hindustan Times, whatever. He was editing a magazine called Bombay Dost. Dost as in ye dosti. Like,
yeah, as in buddy, as in my mate.
Well, no, as in gay friendship.
Oh, as in like that. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
because he was India's leading gay rights activist.
Right.
So Bombay Dost. And so he comes onto the show and he then repeats the story. And the next thing we know, and can I just say that he also said a lot of other things that the SNP department in Hong Kong, the Standards and Practices Department in Hong Kong, had to edit out to protect him and to protect out a lot of living people who he said some things about.
So he slandered them. No, is it slander or libel? No, it's slander.
Slander when it's spoken.
I remember I did that course at the BBC.
Well done.
What I did.
Well remembered.
Was it your show? No, what was it? Anyway, sorry, I just had a flashback of this whole fucking course we had to go on about slander and how to
libel.
Yeah, and all that shit.
And allegedly will not get you out of trouble, people.
Yeah.
You cannot just say allegedly. Yeah.
And there's defamation of character and all sorts of shit as well.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm having mad flashbacks. Sorry, I just had this
Are you?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
No, you finished your story and I'll tell you mine.
Okay, so Ashok Rao Kavi says this. The next thing, the show goes out, and the next day, I am on the front page of almost every newspaper, me next to a picture of Gandhiji. And it says things like, Gandhi called bastard on Nikki tonight. And, you know, in a regional language, like my lovely driver, who was Gujarati, came in and he said, but why did you, can you imagine for a Gujarati? Says, why did you say this?
I've lost your audio. I can't hear you. Your audio. Oh, here you go. Now you've come back.
Am I here?
Now I've got you back.
I'm so sorry. I thought I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So, Gandhi called bastard on Nikki tonight. He says, why did you say it? And I say, did it say it? Did it say that I said it? And he says, oh, no, now I read it. And this was the problem. People didn't read beyond that headline. They assumed I had said it or that I had encouraged it. And actually, if you look at that footage is up there on YouTube. If you type in Nikki Bedi showreel.
So I type in Nikki Bedi bastard. What would happen?
You'll get two of my sons.
Okay.
I think if you do a showreel for Nikki Bedi, there will be that little clip. It will be in there on YouTube.
Wicked.
Or Nikki Tonight on YouTube or something.
Wicked.
And
I've got my post chat viewing ready to go.
Look at the hairstyles. That's the best thing. Oh wow. Anyway, so I audibly go, and then I laugh at something else he says. But what people pick up on is, and then she laughed. And then the weirdest thing is, Nerm, I went from being on...
Your hair's amazing, by the way. I just want to clarify. Those curls are fucking wicked.
Oh, every day there was a different... my amazing makeup artist and hair person, Michelle, she gave me a different look every single episode. And in Bombay Chat as well. Oh, my God, it was hilarious. We had such fun. Anyway, Vanity, their name is Nikki Bedi. So I am then being I'm being vilified. Completely vilified. And I was then told, please do not speak to the press. So I was given a gagging order. And the only person I spoke to was Susan Goldberg. I can't remember. Anyway, she was awful, from The Guardian. I thought I'd be doing her a favor. Well, she was horrible about me. But the thing is, they'd all made up their minds that I was the baddie in this. And Murdoch didn't want any of this to be further fueled, and neither did anybody at Star TV. Yeah. So in the meantime, I become the sacrificial lamb, the bakra. I become bakra. So I am sitting there whilst all these articles, I've got like boxes under my bed of all the clippings, all the hatred. So it went from like pictures of me and Oprah Winfrey, as in, here's India's new talk show host, to me with nooses around my neck. They were burning effigies of us in the street in Delhi. And I had my life threatened. And so, you know, it was really, really full on. I had to have security guys sleeping outside my bedroom, sleeping outside the fire. It was very full on. And Kabir, meanwhile, is in LA, in our home in LA, shooting for The Bold and Beautiful. Now, bear in mind, we don't have the emails in the same way in those days. I'm faxing over the front pages of newspapers. Meanwhile, my parents are in the UK, and I'm on the front page of papers here. It was on the front page of Variety.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you know why, though? Because I am about to ruin Murdoch's...
Oh, his pet project. Yeah,
in India. So, obviously, we put the next show out with a big apology. And then they pull the show. Yeah. And then I am flown. I'm secretly flown out of Bombay.
I was going to say, you had to have gotten the fuck out there.
Oh, my God. Well, it took a few days.
Right.
And everybody kept saying it'll calm down. But then it got worse. And then, they got me out. And I have to say, Murdoch and all his people, as well as my amazing agents here, who, by the way, I didn't pay any commission to. I paid them in diamonds and rubies.
So you're a smuggler as well. This is you publicly admitted you're a smuggler.
It was totally legal.
Okay.
But they didn't want their commission in money. They wanted to send me their Cartier, Bulgari, whatever designs. And then,
and then get them made and then sent back.
So my family jeweler made them all up, and then I carried... Is that smuggling?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, I mean, it's the story of Indians all over the world. Is that
Yeah,
jewelry
exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
it's what you wear, you
Exactly.
carry it around, but it is technically a
Exactly.
way of making wealth um,
Shh. Enough. We never
transportable.
said this.
I
We
didn't
never
say
said this.
anything. No, no, no. I'll have to edit this bit out when it goes back on YouTube. That's fine. But
Ah.
yeah, so I mean, like that's wicked that you got out safely. How long did it
Yeah,
take you before
but
you could re-emerge? That's
no,
the
but
key.
then it really wasn't good and it wasn't funny because I'd had my life threatened, and then I came to the UK first. Well, I went to Hong Kong, then came back to the UK, and then went back to LA. But it was
And this is pre-internet, so you're kind of lucky, as you say, that you didn't get all of that shit immediately.
so lucky,
Yeah.
honestly. And actually, people searching for this story on the internet, there's very little you find from those days.
You know what? That's one of the benefits I was going to say of like having notoriety before 2008 is almost like you
Yeah,
didn't exist. It's fucking
yes,
it's a
it's
double-sided
great.
coin.
It's great. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with that.
Mm.
Also, my intention from that, from then on, no, not then on, it took a while, was to always be just a little bit under the radar. Just do enough good work, right? But you don't want to get a blue tick on Instagram. You don't want to have millions of followers.
There
You
is something
don't,
to an anonymity that's
you
very.
don't
It's a
want to be
superpower. Yeah, 100%.
photographed for magazines. I've had all that. I've done all that.
Yeah.
I want to be just that little bit under and just doing great, great work. But you know what? I grieved. It was like a death for me when I lost my career in India. It was
Mm.
horrific. It was
How,
horrific.
how long did it take you to surface here then? Like, what was the gap
Well,
between?
for a while, I kept thinking it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll blow over, we'll go on to the next series, but we
Mm.
didn't.
Yeah.
It never happened. And nobody could actually give an answer. They kept saying it would blow over, it would die down. And then they wanted to arrest me under TADA, under the Terrorism Act. And
Fuck.
then there was
And there's
something.
sedition. Don't forget that old fucking chestnut.
So all
Yeah, yeah.
those things. And then I secretly came into India because my lawyer, the amazing Tony
Should you
Jethmalani.
be talking about this, by the way?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
not
fine.
sub judice. Yeah, it's
Okay.
all over. Thank
Okay,
you, though.
fine. It's all
Thanks for
right.
checking. Good BBC guidelines there.
Well, it's also because I think that when we get really comfortable with mates of mine on this, we forget we're
Yeah,
public, and it's just like, oh
yeah.
shit. But yeah, but you know what you're
No,
doing, so yeah.
I hope I do. But then, yeah, Tony Jethmalani said it's okay. I had a non-bailable warrant.
Right.
So I was going to fly in to Bombay, and it wasn't for work. It was because Kabir was doing something. Also, we had a home there. In fact, I have family there. He has family there.
Mm.
So I was advised to fly in from Sri Lanka to Madras, and had really short cropped hair, like a pixie cut. So yeah,
So
I got
either
in.
you're really noticed or you're
Yeah,
look completely different.
yeah. But also, don't forget, as the foreign hand, I can blend in anywhere. Nobody
Mm.
would necessarily, unless you've got all your makeup and you're making an entrance into somewhere where they're expecting you. I look like any foreign tourist on the streets.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, no, I do.
I don't think that's the case. You'd hear your voice a fucking mile away, quite frankly.
Yeah, but you know what? In those days, it's really funny. Like, if you watch the first things I did for Bombay Chat, I sound like that now. I sound like a very English person, becoming very, very, very like that. I think I became more British than a British person.
But that, now you said that, I listened back to my pilot, right, for fucking various shows on Radio 1 and here, and I'm
Yeah.
so, like, I think there's a certain amount of, my voice is definitely higher, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Yeah.
And, like, what the fuck happened there, apart from the years of, like, damage? And
Yeah, but then, get this, then I really enjoyed smoking, drinking, late nights, whatever.
that's the years of damage I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I loved what that did to my voice.
Yeah.
I got so many voiceovers as a result of that husky voice.
And, oh my God, and you were the safety announcer on Virgin.
Emirates.
Virgin.
Was I on Virgin?
It was Virgin, bruv. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've done a few of those.
Yeah. Because I'm sat on the plane going, it's fucking Nikki. And everyone's like, everyone's looking at me like I'm an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, that's it.
No, you're right. I did a few things like that. But now that I don't party hard and smoke so much, I do, by the way, I love smoking cigarettes from time to time. I'm
Tea.
sorry.
I managed to quit.
Tea.
I managed to quit.
Gandia.
I got so ill from smoking cigarettes when I
Oh,
was
did you?
in my mid-20s that I'd sort of stopped smoking cigarettes.
No, but you know, I used to smoke gudang garam. Did you ever have those, the kretek cigarettes from Indonesia that have cloves in them?
Oh,
Lawang?
clove cigarettes.
Yeah,
I
but
can't.
they're
I don't
so
know.
strong. And you know, Kuli and Hawks, our
Hmm.
great mutual friends,
Hmm.
when they go to Bombay, they bring back cigarettes for me. Anybody, also in our divorce deal, hello, Bedi, if you're watching, the divorce deal was that, you know, Kabir votes for the Oscars, right? So until recently, you still got physical films, you got
Okay.
DVDs. Now, of course, it's all online.
Yeah.
What, or it should be, because it's bad for the planet to make DVDs, I
I mean,
think.
a lot of them are behind sort of logins and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So, by the way, oh, Stuart Tucker Lundy, can I just say, okay, this is a friend of mine who I meet through social media. He and his wife live in Denver, Colorado. He's a wheelchair user. He's an actor, a producer. He is on all kinds of boards. And this could never have happened in the 90s. That somebody's following you, you follow them back. You really like who they are. You really don't know anything about them. And then as technology moves on, you can send little instant messages via voice. You can do all this. And so he is with us now. And let's say hello to Stuart and Marcy. Yay!
Yay! Well,
Anyway.
yeah. So we were talking about, so your whole thing about coming back. And hello, Stuart, by the way. I wasn't ignoring that, but yeah, hi. But what was I going to say? Fuck, where were we?
Yes,
Coming
so
back here.
smoking So
your voice.
Kabir gave me our divorce deal. He was incredibly generous. Obviously, he's the most generous man. But the deal was he had to continue to send me Gudang Garam cigarettes from Bombay because he'd moved back to Bombay with Parveen, and the Oscar DVDs would come to me first.
So you watch them all and then send them on.
But that ended quite quickly. And anyway, I'm a BAFTA member myself now. I don't need any Academy stuff.
I mean, there you go. The perks of the job. And that was, so then, like I was saying about sort of going on the Asian network and you being such a massive supporter of mine was amazing because it was like, you were, in my eyes at least, like establishment. I know it sounds fucking weird knowing you now.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, well, you're a mainstay of this network and I'm basically the young Turk coming in and fucking shit up, which is amazing. And having you supporting that was even better because it was just like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I always thought you were amazing. And I thought what you did was groundbreaking. And still what you do is
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you.
No, it is because the other day you mentioned something to me and you were talking about being like a creative director of a festival. I can't remember what it was you were saying. And I remember thinking...
Oh, the thing I did last March or March before. Yeah.
And
in
I
India,
thinking, wow, I mean, that is... You said it like it was some sort of throwaway thing, but that's major. And that you've just built up this reputation for doing things that are always brave, that think really differently, uniquely. Original thinkers, don't you agree, are very hard to come by now?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm really shit at accepting compliments, so I'm kind of sort of like reeling from that. But also, I don't know about that because I think that original thinking, I think, is inherent with everyone. It's just that you have to conform to a system, and half of it is the issue of trying to fit into something as conservatively or pre-existing as the BBC, which was my big fucking... I mean, you know what happened, right? On the first, when I told them to go fuck themselves and walked.
No, tell me more.
Did you not hear about all that? Oh,
no.
It's a whole other story. So Bobby, bless him, convinced me to do it.
So this is Bobby Friction for people who don't know.
Yeah, so Bobby convinced me to just...
Do you just assume that
line.
Everybody knows all your friends on here?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
I call him Frickers.
Frickers.
Knickers.
I call him Bubbers. But again,
sorry, I interrupted.
It's all right. It was a time when there was like, it's exciting people like you, Anita, there's just like cool fuckers. Adil, obviously, of course. Exciting people doing stuff there. And I think also we were all finding our feet in a way, or finding a new voice for you, or a new sort of... It was just exciting. And I think you representing arts and stuff on the Asian network was like, what the fuck? How is that even possible? Like, why would this station do that? Which was really exciting. And your support of me led me to sort of do other shit on the station, sort of like doing book reviews for you and
Yeah, I
fucking
remember that so
hosting,
well.
yeah, and hosting the whole show and doing debate stuff. And the thing is that when I got into more mainstream hosting shit, it wasn't for me. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I ended up on Richard and Judy talking about Slumdog Millionaire, right? And I'm like, why the
I didn't know
fuck am I?
that.
Yeah, yeah, it went full on like into that sort of side of things. And the problem I had was that every single time there was a producer or an exec producer on TV or radio that had a brown issue, they wanted a brown face. And I'm like, that's not me, bruv. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not going to be that brown face you wheel out to do brown broadcasting, because that was never what I was about.
Okay, but what? But I'm interested to know why you wouldn't have done that, because isn't that a great brown face to bring out?
That was very kind of you. You know what? It just wasn't, I just didn't feel comfortable. I just really didn't.
Okay,
And I think for
because you
me,
felt like you were being tokenized.
well, because it's just against everything I stand for. I'm basically a fuck you punk, and I want to fuck shit up when I go in there. So towing the line is not really my style. Do you know what I mean? Like having to fit into an exec produced idea of a racial box fucked
Yeah,
me off no end. You know, and
yeah.
it's you know, and bless, you know,
Do you think that's changed, Nerm? I mean, now would you say yes to those things?
no. I mean, personally, I'm old enough to not give a shit anymore, and I'm privileged enough to not have to play that game.
Okay, okay.
So I can do what I'm like fucking, you know, I've been doing this since I was, or doing music professionally since I was like 18, I guess. And
Yeah.
then now I'm 42. So I've been doing this for a very long time. So it's the point of I'm in a position where I don't have to do things I don't want to do. So I'm very, 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 very fucking lucky in that respect. And you know, there's been a lot of talk about maybe if you were white, middle class, and had a college education that was paid for by your parents, you wouldn't not use those assets to forward yourself in life. So why not lean into the racial quotas of broadcasting and all those things? Why not utilize every opportunity that's given to you? And for people coming up now, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, go and fucking do what you can. But for me, because I'm a privileged bastard, I don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was so.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it wasn't the systemic change I wanted. And I think that the idea of changing stuff from within doesn't really work, because you spend all your time doing that. 80% of that energy is doing the job, which leaves 20% for the change you actually want to execute, I feel. So,
Well, so it's very interesting. Do you think it's changed now? I think I see positive changes. Also, interestingly, and I can't talk about what the project is, but I'm sort of, my name's been put forward to present something really great. It's just a series. It's arts. But the feedback that's dripping down is that they want a person of color. And
you're really not a person of color.
well, this is the problem, isn't it? Because I am dual heritage, biracial, but I choose to have blonde hair. And at the moment, because nobody's seen any sun, I look very white. But I don't fit that box to tick, even though my, duality is advantageous, and it is definitely. But on the other hand, I can't resent that, because
you're making space for someone else, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And right now, we all have to do that, because that balance has to be redressed in any way that we can.
I think I was talking to a dear friend of mine. In fact, Anushka Shankar, right? So we're talking about how she's fucking great. And we're talking about a project she's part of called the F List, which is like a female database of musicians, because the argument is that there aren't any, we don't know any female musicians, so therefore festival lineups are overtly male.
Yeah.
I'm burping like a bastard. I'm so sorry.
I can't hear you. I just hear this. No, I just hear this like little.
Okay, nice. This little. So yeah, hi Durga. Durga's amazing, by the way. Big up Durga from Bombay. Yeah, they're amazing. Yes, twice in one day. Activist talking about people bucking like fucking shit up. They are amazing.
Doing?
They are
apart from being a goddess,
non-binary activist and artist.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Bombay.
In Bombay. Actually, Bangalore, ne? Durga, you're in Bangalore, right?
Durga, kahan hai tu?
Ah.
So beautiful you are, Nikki. Wow. Put some glasses on. Chashma pehno.
Arey, shut up. Look how, I mean, there you go. Drag king. There you go. She's India's first
Ah,
drag king.
nice. The
They are India's
Bangalore.
first drag king. My pronoun game is shit. Sorry, I apologize.
You know what? You need just like we used to have a swear box. You need a box for
A
pronouns.
pronoun box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to get it right.
This is absolutely true. But then, so again, I was talking to Anushka about the F list and essential representation. I think that I'm essentially, again, a privileged bastard where the lineups that I would program just happen to be female. They just happen to do that because why the fuck would you not do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, so again, I live in this male privilege where I have this opportunity to correct things. And generally, I've been very lucky. It's been just by action and natural.
Yeah.
Rather than having to catch myself. But then
Yes.
that process of catching yourself is a very healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
So pay parity, for example, like hiring someone that is going to get paid the same as you, even if that means cutting down your own budget, is the right thing to do. For me, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. And that's where the correction, I think you're correct in that things have changed, but realistically they haven't. And it requires that work to make it work.
Yeah,
you know?
which we're all doing.
Nitin's here. Happy birthday, Nitlu.
Happy birthday, Nitin Soni.
Actually, should we add him on? Should we call him on?
Yeah, let's. But he
Nitin.
might not want to.
He probably won't. He probably won't. But I'm going to add him anyway.
Give him
Fuck
a
it.
choice.
No, I'm just going to add him. He can always like hang up.
Khushi janam din aapko.
Arey wah.
That's not actually how you sing happy birthday in Hindi, but it's what I think.
He's going to tell me to fuck off. I bet you. He's not going to pick up. Oh no, he declined. Nitin Soni declined. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Nitin
Happy birthday,
Soni.
bruv.
Oh, how wonderful he is.
But yeah,
You know, I had the privilege of doing a little bit of research for his latest album, for Immigrants.
I saw your credit on the.
Yeah, because I mean,
fact.
I don't need a credit. It's a privilege, but the actuality between what is that above your head? I keep wondering.
Oh, it's acoustic treatment.
It's amazing.
It's lovely. So it's acoustic treatment. So, you need the ceilings, because again, I'm a privileged bastard. I've got very high ceilings, and that is like a false ceiling that sort of essentially dissipates any noise reflection. So
the room isn't roomy. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it sound a little less boomy and big.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Every time I've seen a little clip of that, I thought it's a funky fan.
Or a helicopter or something.
No, that would be silly, wouldn't it? What are you doing now? You're going to play some music?
No, I'm going to show.
Oh.
Ching.
Oh, wow, look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, research, yes.
Yeah. Nitlu's album. I call him Nitlu. It's fucking hilarious. Nitlu.
But Nitin could be quite a Gujarati name as well, couldn't it?
Dude, the amount of conversations we've had where I'm just like, bruv, are you sure we're not related? It's kind of fucking, it's so bizarre, the kind of things, And also, big up Anushka for introducing us and making us be friends. Yes.
Well, the last time I saw you
was with these two idiots. Yes.
Yeah, it was. And we were at Earth in Hackney, weren't we?
Yeah. And they both, so Nitin and Anushka got awards.
For the Songlines Awards.
Yeah, and you presented the award.
Yes, but I really screwed up that day because I thought I had something on auto cue.
Okay.
And there was nothing there. But you know who I was presenting to? Gaye Su Akyol, and she is the most extraordinary Turkish singer. And I did this series for the BBC called The Heart of Turkey. And I went and interviewed and met all these incredible artists, mostly in Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
And Gaye Su Akyol was one of them. And she took us to somewhere you would so appreciate. So you sort of go outside, for want of a better phrase, outside the Istanbul city limits.
Mm-hmm.
So the policing is slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have, there are these beach places and parties where anybody of any choice of sexuality, of any persuasion, of anything that they want to do, they have the freedom to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So she took us to this cool area.
That must be undercover as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But not that much.
Okay.
I remember in the 90s in Bombay, when you say undercover as fuck, I mean, did Did people know about the raves on Mud Island or wherever we were going? I mean,
I mean, honestly, no, because there was, I mean, fuck, that and
Yeah, so
Lobby
it's
Bar. No,
undercover
that and
host.
Lobby Bar at the Sea Princess or shit like that. Remember those fucking raves and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I also remember going, because I was quite well known at that point, I remember being with a very famous industrialist's son, and he had black cats. So he
Like
was
actual
like,
black cats.
no, as in the protection guys.
Oh, okay, right.
So they were in cars on either side of us, in front of us and behind us, and we're going to a rave in Mud Island.
You know,
Yeah.
and
So everything being safer. And also those guys are like, ma'am, don't go down there. Ma'am, don't do this. Just in case anybody catches you, when there's nefarious activity going on.
yeah.
Not that I would have known what any of that was.
Well, exactly. So a similar thing happened, and this still goes on. Talking about things not changing. Okay, so we talked about that in terms of media and all that, and how I feel that there's still work to be done.
Yeah.
Because I think it's surface level. But similarly, now you mentioned this, my dear friend Shruti Hassan, the massive actor, she's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Kamal Hassan's daughter, right? So, but again, I think what helps me in India is my ignorance of the entire industry, because I'm just the dickhead who speaks to everybody the same way. So we're dear friends, and I'm like, Shruti, let's go to a rave, right? And I forget how fucking big she is. So I took her to this rave, and it was just like a fucking swarm of people, like asking for photos. And I was like, what have I done? Fuck. And then other people that were at this rave, that were like, am I seeing this correctly? Like,
Can it be?
Yeah, and so I think things don't really change. I think they all stay the same.
Okay, but you would so be looking out for her, no matter what, right? Do you find
Of course.
Okay, are there values from your Indian culture that mean no matter where you are in the world, you are, I know it's an old-fashioned word, but that you're chivalrous, that a woman is treated with the greatest amount of respect? That, I mean, what have you learned from your mother, for example, that carries you throughout the world?
So I think I'm very privileged because I'm from a background that's very, very humble, but there wasn't any spousal abuse. So I think that's a massive benefit. So I never saw my mom getting beaten or anything like that. That just didn't happen. There may have been sort of disciplinary violence, but that's another thing. And I think that the chivalry aspect comes from not being a big butch alpha male, because like. Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, yeah. I mean, could you not tell I'm a fucking rippling hunk? And I'm obviously the most... And also being a Prince fan. I think those are the things that help me talk to the opposite sex and actually anyone with the same respect. But equally, I think that I also don't really give a fuck about gender. Like, if someone's being a dick, I'd just say that you're a dick. I'm not really... It's not putting any sort of thing on a pedestal. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is this overt Britishness more than the Indianness.
Yeah, maybe it is. But the ability to look after someone that you're with, I like that in people.
But I do that for anyone, whatever gender.
Right,
you know what I mean? And I'd sort of, I understand that women go through a much more dangerous time in life, and I'll do whatever I can to try and prevent that from happening. But that's just fucking natural, isn't it? There's no plaudits expected for that. That's just normal.
Hey, I just interviewed this filmmaker today for my Arts Hour. And you may have seen the film. So it was Oscar nominated. It was called Quo Vadis Aida. Her name is Yasmila Zanovich. I need to get that right. Sandwich. So Yasmila is spelled with a J. Jasmila.
I found the film.
Zabanich. That's how you pronounce it.
Zabanich.
Oh
Jasmila
my
Zabanich.
goodness! It is so. She has basically. Sorry, guys, this is going to get heavy for a minute, but she has essentially told the story of the Srebrenica massacre through the eyes of a woman she's a teacher, she's a Bosnian teacher, Muslim, obviously, and she is then taken to be an interpreter for the UN forces who were there at the time, and they were actually Dutch. I don't know if you remember this story, but essentially Srebrenica became overrun and the UN were overpowered. I mean, there are lots of interpretations of this, I know. But then 8,000 boys and men, Muslim boys and men, were massacred. And some of their bodies still haven't been found. So what this amazing filmmaker did, Yasmila, is she told the story through a woman. And if you think about it, most of the footage that we see, when we see men on screen, we hear in documentaries, it'll often be a male voiceover. We see the stories of the men who've died, but it's the women who stayed behind. And those women of Srebrenica are extraordinary, the mothers of Srebrenica. But to tell the story from a woman's perspective allowed this incredible sensitivity that I'm not sure she would have got through men. So,
and I think also there's also a narrative of the women being at home and mourning. So you always have a wailing woman, rather than the actual story. It's like one of these. And they become tropes.
The woman doing something, and these women actually did something. But I like female-led stories. That doesn't mean I only want female stories, by the way.
Yeah, I'm privileged enough not to give a shit about gender because I'm male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, it's wonderful.
And I'm privileged enough to not care about sexuality or any of those things.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
What are you watching on television right now, and what are you reading? 2 questions. Like, what's your appointment to view?
I don't have any anymore because I watch whatever I want to.
I know, but what are you watching? Like this morning, what did you watch? This evening, what will you watch?
So I think that there's an interesting thing that I've been thinking about conspiracy theory is going to be the next medium. Okay?
What, you mean it isn't already?
Well, no, it's informalized. It's going to be formalized, I feel. I think there's going to be a whole new medium of conspiracy. And it's
so what, like Alex Jones?
Worse, or maybe better. Because I realize that in humanity's existential crisis of that we have no meaning, we fill that hole with any sort of belief, financial, religious, fucking football, for me it's Star Wars, whatever, any sort of narrative that allows you to understand something.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that it's almost like the formalization of role playing or the formalization of experiences is going to happen and build into conspiracy as the next medium, I think. And it's going to take about maybe 30 to 40 years to be formalized, but that's where I see it going. So to that end, the narrative arc of how people would become radicalized, for example, if you're a white supremacist in America, or you're a Hindutva follower in India or whatever, can be counteracted by sort of analyzing how, for example, anti-Zionist Jewish movements would organize. So a lot of that kind of stuff feeds into narrative. Narrative is the weapon that everyone uses. And conspiracy is a small step away from that. So I think there's a bridge there. So to answer your question, what do I watch is a load of Star Wars, basically.
Okay. Oh.
just like a load of stuff that literally lets me escape from this mindset of trying to analyze, how art can be deployed and how narrative can be deployed. Because I think that's what I think about constantly, and I think an escape from that is great, but it's also art being deployed. It's also the same thing. So it's a bit of a milieu. But what did I watch this morning? Do you know what I really love? My big escape. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Okay. It's basically the life of me and my friends. Debauched, outrageous, rude as fuck. And just getting up to the craziest shit, but with a form of heart in it that you'd never expect.
Yeah. And do you listen to podcasts?
No, I can't do long form audio.
You don't have to do long form though.
But I can't.
Why is that?
I've tried audiobooks and I've tried podcasts, but I end up
What
thinking
is
about.
it? Is it? Are you slightly ADHD? Do you
No,
have
it's the
some sort
production.
of?
I end up listening to how it's made. I end up over listening to shit. Like I have to sleep with fucking earplugs because I listen to noise, and I'm like, I'm focusing on the fucking noise. It's really
On the
bad.
quality of the noise.
On the quality of the noise, where
Oh
it's coming from, the sound
no.
source, all that shit. I'm like, I need earplugs to black out.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
So have you got like lovely noise cancelling earplugs, or
No,
have you got?
I'm Gujarati for fuck's sake. I just jam shit in my ears and it's fucking done. Do you know what I'm
about
saying? What are you talking
like
about?
all these sort of ASMR things?
I totally thought you said, what about LSD? No. No.
Oh, shall I tell you about LSD?
I mean, I don't know if you want to, if you can.
No. I'm going to be very cautious, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, being married to somebody like Kabir Bedi, who
Mm-hmm.
was a child of the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
I understood that acid for a certain generation really was what Aldous Huxley wanted it to be. It was opening doors of perception, etc. So I did, I experimented when I was like 15, 16. And
Sorry, Nitin's comment, Nikki Bedi talks LSD, shock face.
No, but Nitin, this is going to get dark, let me
Okay,
show you.
excellent.
So, yeah, no, it really is. So I did it, and I was such a middle class goody two shoes. I was terrified. I must have heard some stories, and I probably didn't even know about which newspaper represented what type of human being in the UK. But it would have been some really frightening story by some media mass that went, children and kids who do LSD throw themselves off bridges over motorways. Anyway,
right.
So the first time I do it, I'm with this group of kids. I mean, we were kids now.
What, in Bombay?
No, in Salisbury.
Fucking Salisbury. I thought you were going to say LA or Bombay. In Salisbury.
This is Salisbury.
Mate, fuck off. That is so not glamorous. In Salisbury.
What do you mean it's next to Stonehenge practically?
Exactly. It's obvious. That's where fucking Glastonbury is. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Come on. So
right.
Then, anyway, let's just say I have a really bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time I do it, and I'm not going to involve any others, I'm in Bombay, and and it sent me into therapy.
Fuck. Wow.
I'm really, really serious now.
Wow.
Then, I'm not going to go into that right now because this is a lovely, lovely evening chat.
Like positive chat, yes.
Yeah. But let me tell you, then I meet the acid guru of the world, Timothy Leary.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just been run out of Bombay, the incident that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I was everywhere, and there was an arrest warrant for me. So we went to, the director, Tony Scott.
Sorry, wait. You smuggled yourself back into Bombay while there was a warrant out for you. You met the godfather of fucking acid, essentially, Timothy Leary, and Ridley Scott's brother was there. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, so wait, so I'm back in LA.
Okay, so it's LA. Okay, it's just jumping around now. Yeah.
I'm back in LA, and I go to Tony Scott and his wife Donna's for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very good friends with Timmy Leary, and they were sort of looking after him. Can you imagine Kabir, child of the 60s, meeting one of his heroes? I think Nixon called Timothy Leary one of the most dangerous men in the world because he was doing turn on, tune in, drop out.
Right. I'm just Googling the Nixon quote now.
I love that you're straight on the research. I love it.
Yeah, one of the most dangerous men in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, wait, actually, no. Hang on.
The most dangerous.
Wait, hang on. I found another article against that. I mean, it's fucking the internet. Of course, there's going to be articles against it. But anyway, carry on.
Okay, so here is Timothy Leary, who is so impressed that I've been run out of Bombay, who is so impressed that I'm going to be arrested under the Terrorism Act, and Timmy's big thing was this. He'd do thumbs like this all the time. He'd go, yeah, wink. Anyway, so I say to him, Timmy, I'm a disgrace. Well, first of all, I did that thing that everybody probably did, which was to say, does everybody ask you about their bad acid trips? Does everybody want to know? And so he's just like, yes. And I went, so here's the thing,
Oh,
right?
right.
This is what happened to it. I've been in therapy as a result of what I uncovered as a result of doing this nefarious substance. And he went, you must never do anything hallucinogenic until you are at least 40. And then, do you know what? I don't think you should even do it then. So,
Wow.
well, let me tell you, after doing something like that when you're young and you've been messed up, I've never done another hallucinogen in my life.
What was the reasoning for him saying that to you?
Well, I did tell him a little bit about what had happened.
Right.
And what I'd uncovered. And then what I was going through as a result of trying to integrate these selves, in a sense. It was quite heavy. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, I think he was right to say there are certain people who've got certain stuff who might not cope. What's Nitin saying? Nikki delivering the anecdotes.
I mean, it's true. I mean, talk about a fucking like relevant name drop. That's like Acid, Nixon, Kavita, Bombay, LA. It's just like, it's all happening.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. I see Bishy's just hitting the heart button. Big up Bishy.
Bishy!
Yeah.
Okay, you know what we were talking about earlier? About breaking the mold?
Yeah, Bishy.
The first time I met that goddess, I could not believe what I was looking at and then what I was hearing. Do you know she's one of the most learned people I know? Whether that comes from her roots and her parents and her family, the learning that woman has on so many levels is extraordinary.
I'm laughing because she's just put in all caps, I fucking love you.
But honestly, her knowledge of classical music, of filmmakers, then her, at one point we would have called the areas that she has such deep roots being watered in, we'd have called it like alternative living, alternative lifestyles. Now it's like she explored things that we today have vocabulary for.
Yeah, 100%. But that's the whole thing about fucking shit up.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about fucking shit up. It's incredible. And I think that's what I love about a lot of our friends as well. Let's just all pat ourselves on our back and congratulate our wonderful friends because they are badasses at fucking shit up.
I feel utterly conventional when I am in front of somebody like you, in front of somebody like Bishi, Nitin. I mean,
you're not conventional because listen to the fucking story you just told, you fucking Ulu. I mean, are you kidding me? What the fuck are you talking about? Don't give me this false modesty shit.
Wait,
I mean, come on.
Can you explain to me, though, why do we use Ulu, which means owl, as a term of abuse for somebody stupid? Ulu ka patta, ulu ka bacha.
I learned it from my Punjabi friends. I don't know why.
No. But then in our culture, we say wise owl, not
Exactly.
stupid owl.
I think that because owls, the natural predators of bats, and we as Indian people love Batman, you know?
Are you a fang banger? Did you like True Blood and all those vampires?
Oh, dude, honestly, as a kid, right, I was such a fucking lonely brown goth. It was unreal, right? So I was like bang into Anne Rice and shit. So I've read all of her novels. I was like completely like alone and desolate and the wrong skin color to be a complete goth, right? As a kid. So I was into all of that. But I think that now less so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm very comfortable in myself, and the world's been adjusted around my my expectations, which is great. Again, I'm privileged. I've been able to sort of mold that shit around what I want rather than having.
But you know what? The ultimate test of privilege, isn't it, today, is how we use it to do good things.
Yeah, but I don't talk about that either. I don't think we should.
No, you must never talk about that.
Yeah, because that's just not classy or.
Well, aren't we taught this in Indian families? It's like you don't talk about the charities that you give to. You don't talk about your charitable work.
See, I'm not so sure because I know.
You just do it.
See,
unless
the performative
you
aspect.
Recommend other people get involved. That's different.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find it a bit. I think there's an aspect of it where, like, is it something that you're doing to seek attention, which as I'm
You mean
sure.
if you talk about it?
Yeah, if it's
Oh, yeah, that's
performative.
my point.
Yeah.
That's my
But I'm
point.
not sure whether that's an Indian trait.
Well, I think we're always taught that it's just part. You do seva, you do whatever you do, but you do not talk about it. It's not something that it doesn't make you better. It's what you should naturally be doing.
You know, it's fascinating. Going back to Prince again, is that after he died,
How did we didn't start with Prince, so
I,
how are
I
we
always
going
I just
back?
pepper Prince and Batman through everything like Nitin says. It's like somehow I get Batman into every conversation. But
Can I
also,
tell you my Prince story on Indian radio in a minute? Just remind me.
yes,
No,
please.
no, because it's not about Prince. It's just about a track. Go on. I
Oh,
interrupt you.
okay. So no, what I was saying was that after he died, the kind of cool shit he did, the anonymous donations and stuff that
Oh,
happened,
yes.
is great. It comes out afterwards. It's like, yo, no, he's funding all sorts of things. Just
Yep.
excellent. And Bishy's right, Martika. He produced Martika's album.
You know, Martika was one of my best friends.
No fucking way.
Martika and I were the best friends.
I think that Martika and Prince did touchings.
I wouldn't say, because Martika is my BFF.
Okay.
So Tika, as I call her, Tika and I went to Timmy Leary's last birthday party. And the weirdest thing was, so Baba Ramdas was there, Sean Lennon, there were all these extraordinary people, and Channel 4 were filming there. Now, I didn't know this at all.
That doesn't sound like fun to me.
So, well, no. First of all, he's
like you're running into the loo with your mate, and suddenly there's a fucking film crew there.
First of all, I don't know why you would run to a loo with your mate. You're at Timothy Leary's house. You don't.
I
need
like
to run
pooing
anywhere.
with an audience.
Right. Well, that's a scatological peccadillo that you should keep to yourself, no?
I opened this chat with a scatological story.
You
for fuck's sake.
You did. It's
so,
full circle.
and I think we have to draw to a close too, because
Yeah,
I have a meeting at like in 10 minutes. I realized.
Well, this has been amazing.
But can't finish your fucking story. Tell me the story.
About Martika or about
yeah, Martika, Prince India story, and generally name dropping like you do with just
Martika,
amazing stories.
I adore, and she is still one of my dearest friends. But the Prince story was just this. When radio started to open up in India many, many years ago, so it wasn't All India Radio.
Yeah.
There was a show and a presenter, and she said, "Oh, I'd really like you to come on. You know, we have a star come on and choose like their 6 favorite songs, like a Desert Island Disc, right? And so just let me know what your songs are." So I chose Prince's Darling Nikki. Obviously,
amazing.
I did. Yeah,
amazing,
right.
amazing.
But in those days, obviously, there was no diligence. Nobody checked the tracks. Nothing was in a system that said she's masturbating with a magazine.
I was going to say, Nikki, do you want to give the line?
I knew a young girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex queen.
Sex
Met
fiend.
her in a hotel. Queen.
Fiend.
But you're right, fiend.
Fiend.
No, you are right. It's fiend. I say queen.
It's fiend.
I know it is. Okay, shall I start again?
Yes.
Knew a young girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. Met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. She said, "How do you like to spend some time?" And
Waste.
I could not resist
when I saw little Nikki grind. And also, that caused the parental advisory stickers.
What, that track?
Yeah, so 2 Prince tracks, that and Sugar Walls by Sheena Easton, was used by Tipper Gore to say that we need to warn our children of sex things. So the parental advisory stickers are because of this.
Darling Nikki.
Yeah.
Fiend.
Yeah. She took me to her castle, I just couldn't believe my
eyes.
She had so many devices, everything that money could buy. Yeah, amazing.
Dave Grohl did a version of that. That's pretty
good. Dave Grohl's Prince story is fucking wicked. Yes. Have you heard the one where he's just drumming with Prince and just jamming with him?
Are you going to finish the whole thing by doing that for us?
What, the hand movements?
Yeah, just do that. Just air drum for us. It's a lovely
just air drum.
Oh. Yeah, and then you can do a nice edit out. I'll do janglies.
You'll do janglies. So you played that song on the radio, and there was no.
Because and then she got into so much trouble, Shanaz. Oh my god.
But you know what? There's the thing. Just as I'm gonna end this on this quick anecdote. is that when we were both like colleagues at the BBC, and there was that risk sort of leaning into the risk aspect, there was a definite marked shift when there was that whole fucking Russell Brand, Jonathan Ross thing that just fucked the whole compliance at the BBC, where you had to have every track pre-listened to and analyzed and whatever. I guess it was different for like non-music radio, but for music radio, you had to have everything fucking auditioned way before. And I managed to get in Prince's Erotic City on 6 Music, right? Because an Erotic City is another Prince song which has got loads of swearing embedded in it. So the lyric of contention is it fuck so pretty? No, funk.
Look it up. Look it up. Do you Google?
We can fuck until the dawn, making love till cherry's gone. But it's actually we can fuck. But they said it's we can funk until the dawn.
Yeah.
But there's a hidden fuck, right? There's a hidden fuck in that. And it goes...
Nick's saying, fuck your meeting them, you're staying.
I've got to go. It's part of my excitement things. I need to do it.
Excitement?
I told you about the excitement things I'm doing.
Yes. No,
I'll tell you, it's an important thing. I need to go. I would fucking stay otherwise. But it was like, we can fuck until the dawn, making love to cherry's gone. Erotic city, can't you see? Fuck so pretty, you and me. And it's that fuck so pretty bit, because it's actually like thoughts of pretty. Anyway, basically I got them to play that whole song on the BBC with no issues.
Well done, shabash. Look at your manicure.
Mirrored nails. They need to be redone.
Stunning.
They need to be redone though. I don't need a new haircut.
Redone. Why can't you do them yourself?
My neighbor does them for me. She's amazing. So they're like sort of, she bought a whole nail kit during lockdown. Can you see they're growing out?
Oh, because it's a gel, is it?
Yes.
Not good for your fingers.
I live like an exuberant dickhead lifestyle. So they just get peeled off. Like my thumb is fucked. Like it's just like I get caught up on shit. It's just like, fuck it. And then I run off.
And then you know what? When you peel a gel manicure off, it takes a layer of the top of your nail off.
I've got plenty of it. Have you seen my ugly ass fingers, for fuck's sake? They're like E.T.'s hands.
Gorgeous. No, you know what? I've learned not to say any part of our bodies is ugly. I have the ugliest feet in the world. No, I don't. I have feet that I've inherited from both sides of my family.
That is female privilege, because I look down every day and it's so ugly. Nay. So the point I was going to say...
You must just go, these are the feet that carry me.
Not the feet, Lalu, the other things. Anyway, the point I was trying to make was that basically with these ugly ass fingers, when I tried black, it's like I got them trapped in a door. It just looked like fucking bruising. See, exactly. And with these ugly ass fingers, it's like E.T. trapped his finger in the door. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. This has been so lovely.
It has been lovely.
Honestly, we are so ridiculously narcissistic to just sit here
and talk about each other.
Talk about ourselves, and yet have all these beautiful, amazing people sending us messages. I love it.
It's awesome. But this is exactly
Thank you for this, Nerm.
This is a drink in a bar. This is exactly what it's meant to be. And also, I can't talk about what it is, but I've told you.
Yes, you
But I can't mention anything. July 3rd, we will do this in real life.
Chup chup, Beto.
Yeah, but July 3rd. Everyone just pencil July 3rd in your diary. It's a Saturday. Pencil it in your diary.
Yes.
Because I won't say anything else. Mwah! Thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you all. It was so lovely. No, thank you. And I see you in real life very soon.
In the reels.
IRL.
Yeah, IRL. Ha. Thank you, Durga. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, everybody. Everybody, I love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bahut pyar. Bye.
Big love.